Hi, I'm Catherine with Women Travel Abroad. I'm the owner of the company, and I'm gonna do this Bordeaux trip info session today. I'll go over some slides, have some time for Q&A, and then yeah, happy to take any questions at the end, or you can put them in the chat while I'm presenting. So. Our Bordeaux food and wine trip to France is going to be from the 12th to the 18th of October 2026. We have only 8 spots available and 6 are already sold, so there are 2 spots left for this trip in 2026. And we'll go through the itinerary to start. Um, Bordeaux is a region in the south west of France that is well known for its vineyards, as well as the many chateaus and really good sort of specific food culture. So we're going to spend the whole week in Bordeaux at the same hotel in the city of Bordeaux. Bordeaux is both the region, the state, as well as the name of the uh, capital of that region. So you can either fly into the Bordeaux airport, or you can fly into Paris and take a train to Bordeaux. Either is fine. Our trip hosts, who are the staff members from Women Travel Abroad who will be accompanying this group, are going to be flying into Paris and taking the train. So, for anybody interested in that option, flights might be slightly cheaper that way, and the train should run less than 150 euros total, so less than $200 for a high-speed direct train, which, depending on where you're flying from, may be the more convenient option. We would recommend you fly into Paris the night before, so fly into Paris on October 11th, and then we would take the train as a group together on October 12th. Otherwise, you can fly in directly to Bordeaux, probably with a connection through Paris or another larger city in Europe in order to arrive at the airport. The itinerary overview. So the 12th is when you'll have arrivals. We'll start the afternoon around 3:30 in the afternoon with a walking tour of the city as well as the welcome dinner. The 13th is when we're going to do our market visit, cooking class, and that's going to be paired with local wines. We'll be meeting a chef, and she'll take us through all of the markets as well as learning to make several different dishes, which we'll eat for lunch. Then there'll be some free time in that afternoon. The 14th, we will do a day trip to Medoc, which is just outside of Bordeaux. It's about a 35 to 40-minute drive. We'll go do some chateau visits as well as vineyard visits and just drive this route to Chateau, which is basically a road that has some of the most famous vineyards in the southwest of France all along it. And there's a lot of history, both in the architecture as well as learning a lot about the wines as we do tastings. The 15th, we will do our day trip to Saint-Emilion, which is, again, about 25 minutes outside of the city of Bordeaux. And this has additional vineyards that we will visit. At one of the vineyards, we'll learn about a blending workshop. So part of the way that most of the vineyards in France function is that there are vineyards that grow the grapes, and then there are vineyards that produce the wine. And some vineyards grow the grapes and produce the wine. Other vineyards only grow the grapes, and then they send their grapes to other vineyards where they blend different grapes from different vintages and different grapes from different farms into a single wine blend. So we'll learn a little bit about the blending process and what makes the different variations of wine from Bordeaux really special. Then we'll also have some time, free time in the village of Saint-Emilion since it's a really cute town and lots of good little shopping. So we'll have lunch in town and some free time. We will then go to Archenon Bay, which is a 45-minute drive to the coast. There are some incredible sand dunes there, as well as a boat tour, which will take us out to the oyster farms. We'll learn how they do oyster farming and then get the chance to taste oysters as part of our lunch. We'll return to Bordeaux in the later afternoon. And then the 17th is your free day. So at this point, you'll have sort of explored the whole of the Bordeaux region, as well as having that guided walking tour of the city itself. And you can either relax and rest this day, shop, wander on your own in the city of Bordeaux, or if there is a specific vineyard you wanted to go back to, you could arrange a taxi to take you back to maybe shop or drink at one of the local vineyards as well. The farewell dinner will be the only group activity that evening, and then the 18th is your departures, and we have a little spelling error there. Um, in terms of the main highlights for this trip, so the Medoc and Saint Emilion Vineyard tours, is a main reason that people go to Bordeaux. We're going right at the middle to end of the harvest season, which makes it really special because the vineyards will actually be active. You'll see people going through, picking the grapes and harvesting them at this time of year. You will be tasting the vintages from a year prior, primarily, as well as some older vintages, but it's really special to get to actually see the harvest process. So that's why we pick to go in October. It's also really good weather. It tends to be pretty sunny and dry, but not really hot like it can be in July and August. Archenon Bay is also, it's just a really beautiful area. There are these sort of trees and then sand dunes right into a very beautiful part of the Atlantic Ocean. And oysters are something that is very special to this region. And then I think the other big highlight is the market tour. The market tour is specifically on market day. So there are 2 days a week in Bordeaux where there is a huge farmers market in essence. And this is a photo of what those markets look like. And so you'll have the chance to go and learn about all of the French produce and really have a farm to table cooking class. We are going to be staying at the First Name Bordeaux, which is a boutique hotel right in the city center. It's super walkable, and it makes it very convenient for you to be able to go and explore the city of Bordeaux itself on your own. There's also a lot of history in Bordeaux. It has a lot of really beautiful cathedrals that you can visit, and it also has some really interesting museums, especially a modern art museum. So on that free day, you can take full advantage of everything that is in the city itself. The price for the trip is 7,295 US dollars. That's a single occupancy room at a boutique hotel for the 6 nights, plus daily breakfast and dinner as a group. And then for lunches, lunch is included every day with the exception of the free day, where since everyone will be doing their own activities, we don't include it. Um, it's also all of the tours, the activities, all of the wine tastings, the entrance fees, the taxes, and the gratuities. This trip is a little bit unique. Most of our trips, we don't include alcohol in the price of the trip because we don't know if people are going to be interested in drinking or not. But for this trip, all of the wine tastings are included, and we will also have wine pairings in the evenings with our dinners. So you can expect to be able to drink plenty of wine throughout this trip included in that price. And then the only things not included are international airfare, given that the group will be traveling from all over the US and Canada. So we can help you book the right flights, but it's not included in that purchase price. Travel insurance, the lunch on the free day, and personal expenses. At the moment, there is not a visa for US and Canadian citizens to visit any of the EU countries like France. That may change. The EU is going to be launching a electronic visa program. The expectation is that it'll cost about 10 euros to apply for a 2-year visa. We don't expect it to be a difficult process for a US citizen or a Canadian citizen to complete, but as of right now, that has not gone into effect. We are not sure if it will be in place by the time this trip runs in October, so that is one potential additional cost. But again, it's small. It would be about 10 euros. And then finally, a few FAQs. The weather in Bordeaux this time of year is going to be sort of mid to upper 40s to the high 60s. It'll be sunny during the day and then often cool off at night. So you will want some layers But like we said, we picked this because this is the time where the vineyards are very active with their harvest season. Um, the trip activity level is pretty moderate, from 2 to 4 miles of walking over the course of the day. Those are at a leisurely pace. We do want to note that there are going to be some stairs, uneven surfaces, non-paved areas that we'll be walking on. So making sure you're comfortable walking unassisted, even on not just flat surfaces. And then, like we said, no visa currently, but that might be changing. So I will pause there. Happy to take any questions now, or we can wrap up.
Just a couple of
Yeah.
questions. What's the deposit amount and when is the final payment due?
Yeah. So for all of our trips, the deposit is $400. You pay that as part of the registration form that is on our website. And then you have two options. What most people choose is a monthly installment plan where each month you'll pay $400 towards the total trip price. So if you pay the deposit in February, you'd have another $400 due March 1st, April 1st, etc., with the final balance being due 90 days before the trip takes place. So in this case, in middle of July would be when the balance payment is due. The other option is we do offer a small discount if you pay in full upfront. So you can pay the $400 deposit and then in that same month pay the balance and you get a 3% discount. Those options are both offered on the registration form. But either way, what most people choose is the monthly payment with the balance due 90 days before we travel.
And these are solo rooms, correct?
Yes, yep, your own private room at the hotel.
Okay, great. I don't have anything right now. I might have other
Yeah,
questions. I just can't think of them right
absolutely.
now. But yeah, this is
I
helpful.
will send a recap email either later today or tomorrow, and it'll have the link to register. And then the other thing for first-time women travel abroad travelers, we do have a $200 booking discount. So I'll include the code in the email that I send to you. And if you have other questions, you're more than welcome to just follow up with me.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye bye.